Genshin Impact must pay $20 million for misleading players about gacha spending. It is here. Finally. They are accused of marketing the game to children and collecting data on them, a violation of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act in the US. The FTC says HoYoverse deceived children and other users about the real cost of in-game transactions and odds of obtaining rare prizes. True. The FTC says that Genshin Impact uses challenging and confusing purchases, employing infamous dark pattern tactics to mislead consumers about the amount of money that players spend on loot boxes on an ongoing basis, and the amount of money that players would likely need to spend to obtain certain prizes. I think this is a really good thing. Every game that has a gambling lottery mechanic should not be available to children. It should be 18 plus. All the games. All games that have some sort of loot boxes, some sort of chances of getting something instead of just buying it directly. All those games should be 18 plus. Even FIFA with their cards and whatever. This is a step in the right direction for sure. Anyways, let's keep going. Genshin Impact deceived children, teens and other players into spending hundreds of dollars on prizes they stood little chance of winning. True. Companies that deploy these dark pattern tactics will be held accountable if they deceive players, particularly kids and teens, about the true costs of in-game transactions. The result is this. The game must not allow children under the age of 16 to spend money on loot boxes without the consent of their parents. I thought that this already applied. So if it doesn't, then like what the fuck is going on? This should be bare minimum, right? Personal information of players under 13 will be deleted until parents give permission that it can be collected. Good luck with that. They must comply with all COPPA regulations. Again, I think this should be 16. Because the game does have gacha mechanics with or without money involved. So it's just bad practice. It's bad for children, no matter what. It's not so much about the money, in my opinion, and it's more about teaching kids to gamble. That is the problem. Loot boxes that you can buy with virtual currency must also be able to be purchased with clearly labeled real money values. Good, it should be like that. Loot boxes, odds and exchange rates, and multi-tiered currency need to be accurately disclosed to players. I've always been really confused about the chances of getting a certain character, right? I still don't quite know how likely I am to pull a character. I'm just naturally lucky, so I pull whatever I want and I always get it. So, winners win and losers lose, I guess. If you are deep into Genshin Impact, it has been possible to ultimately understand the odds of max amount you need to pay to guarantee yourself landing a character, but it's a maze of gambling odds and 50-50 coin flips and confusing children. Seems like something that could easily happen. Yeah, true. And the FTC says HoYoverse was doing that on purpose. Look, there's a reason why the game has multiple currencies. And not just Genshin Impact, all of these games. There's a reason why they have multiple currencies that you need to exchange with one another in order to buy stuff. And there's a reason why there's a pity timer with a 50-50 on top of it. Of course, it's just like a layer upon layer upon layer of idiot proving. And some people, they fall for it on the first step of currency exchange. And some people fall for it on the second step of currency exchange. Some people fall for it on the third step of pity timer. And then most people fail to understand it on the coin flip. So it's just filtering. So of course it's on purpose. The changes are somewhat minimal. Yep. And the fine is paltry. Yeah, I mean, compared to how much they gain every month, yeah, 20 million is not crazy. Genshin Impact made $1 billion in its first 6 months on mobile. On mobile alone, look at that. 1 billion, that's $1,000 million in its first 6 months alone, on mobile alone. Like, how crazy is that? For a while, it was making $1 billion every 6 months without fail, making it one of the most successful mobile games in history, and that's on mobile. I don't know anyone who plays it on mobile. Okay. Again, these changes are only in the US, and other regions like Asia where gacha games are immensely popular would have to make no further alterations. I suppose this is a warning to other games. This same dark pattern claim happened with Fortnite, which had to pay $72 million to players. But this is just going to be a drop in the bucket for HoYoverse here. Here's their official statement on the matter. Animation-style games and shows are well received by global audiences and players across various ages. Genshin Impact is a popular free-to-play game, anime-style game designed for older teens and adults. While we believe many of the FTC allegations are inaccurate, we agreed to this settlement because we value the trust of our community and share a commitment to transparency for our players. Under the agreement, we will introduce new age gate and parental consent protections for children and young teens and increase our in-game disclosures around virtual currency and rewards for players in the US in the coming months. So basically, if they were transparent and if they really did value the community, then they would actually make this change across the board in all countries. But they're not going to do that because what does that mean? It means less profits. And what do they value? They value profits, of course. Like, duh. They don't value the community. They only value the community if it gives them money. If valuing the community equals money, then they value the community. So, and that's not a bad thing. It's just how a company works. Do not get misled by this. They don't really value the community. They just do what they have to do. But yeah, I do think this is a great thing. I hope this happens more frequently. So these gacha games, gambling games, I should just start calling them gambling games. Start changing their ways, and especially when it comes to children, right, and young teens. Because I remember when I was a young teen and I had my first credit card at like 15, and I was able to buy things online. And dude, I bought so many things. Like, I bought so many things, not just gacha, just a bunch of trash, you know, and things that I shouldn't have bought. So yeah, definitely a good thing. And like I said before, I think it should be 18 plus, but we'll see about that. Maybe that happens 2026. Gonna have to wait and see. Anyways, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. Is this good enough as a first step, or do we simply need more? If you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.